Hey guys, this is George with Firehouse Music, and today I'm here with Eva. She's usually the lady behind the camera. She does all my videos, and she also happens to be one of my favorite people to play with. She's a drum instructor here at Firehouse Music. She's great, but she plays other instruments too. She plays guitar, she plays piano, a very talented musician, and one of the most naturally musical people I've ever met. I have a few friends, man, I can count them in one hand, that are just naturally musical, and Eva happens to be one of them, and it's a privilege to have her here as an instructor.
Thank you.
And yeah,
it's really nice.
Yeah, I really mean
it's
that.
It's like the nicest thing you've ever said. It's on camera, so that's awesome.
So today we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of students sometimes don't get, and because Eva and I jam together quite a bit. We do student jams here, and so we are like sometimes the rhythm section. Sometimes we get to just play together and showcase what we do. And like I said, she's one of my favorite people to play with because of her feel. And that's basically what we want to talk about. It's like, how do you create, as a rhythm section, a good feel? How do you in music we call it a pocket. How do you create a pocket that you can play into? What does it mean to push or pull a beat? Letting the music breathe, and all those things that sound kind of esoteric to people who don't really play, but if you jam, I mean, if you know, you know. Mm-hmm. So maybe like we can shed some light into some of those concepts. So I'm just gonna let you talk a little bit. Just tell me, maybe experiences with both like positive and negative. I know you played in the church circuit, so you get a mixed bag of musicians there. Mm-hmm. So what are some things that you think happen good, which things happen not so good, and then maybe insert like a bad experience in there, somebody that really sucked.
Bad experience with playing with people?
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna start off with a bad experience because there's like the easiest to
they're easier to
recall.
Immediately I started thinking too, like I can call them out.
But I feel like the worst experiences I've had with musicians is the musicians that play the black and white note on the paper. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily. Know your part, obviously, especially when you're getting sent a song to learn. Learn your part, but then most of the time they'll be like, oh hey, like add something of you, like in the part that you're playing. And the people that I usually play with know that I do that most of the time. I'll play the beat that's written or the one that's in the song, but I like to add my own stuff as well. And so when I play with people that don't know that about me, and I play something, they're like, hey, that was wrong. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'll just play black and white. Some people, that's all they want. They just want you to play the music that's written or the music that you hear.
Just get a track, bro. You just play to a backing track. You want that.
They want to control you with puppet strings, No, there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel that I feel better when I play freely. And I feel like that's something that musicians have to earn their way to. Because at first, you're just trying to learn. And we still learn after the fact. But once you've learned at least enough to get you through the song, the best part is being able to kind of reach up into thin air and grab magic, I
want to interject something because you brought up a really good point. So if this is not a license to just suck, right? I mean, you have to play the part. You have to know the song.
Right.
What we're talking about is, so if you're a student, right? You're a beginning student and you're learning, I don't know, like your first Metallica song or whatever. So you're, I don't know why I picked Metallica. But
no, that's why I say classic, dude. Like classic. Understand? Yeah.
So so you're playing that song. Well, you gotta learn the part as it is on the record. Like you gotta make it sound just like the record, because then you're like, okay, you're accurate, you got it. But after you've done that 100 times, 1,000 times, and you know all kinds of songs, and now you're just jamming. You're playing, maybe if you're playing a standard, like we're doing some like jazz fusion thing or just jazz, or if we're playing off a song. Like we pick a song so people can sing and whatnot if we're doing like live karaoke type situation. And but then you have the freedom to play around with that material. Like, yeah, you know the solo note for note, but maybe you play your own solo over that song if you're a guitar player. Or in the case of a drummer, you got the beat, you got the right feel, but then you insert your own feels, right? Maybe accent that part a little bit, maybe make the song feel a little bit different, but it's still within the same stylistic language of the song. You're not just gonna take the song and then just play willy-nilly, then it'll just sound bad.
Yeah, and to be clear, if you're a paid musician and they send you a song like, hey, we're playing these 30 songs, learn them, play them, learn the part the way that it, don't just show up and be like, yeah, so like
I'm just gonna wing it.
I am a free player, so like you can't hold me down. You will not get paid. Any experience that I've had in the last 6 months even of playing with different bands and stuff, most of them are really go with the flow. They're like, hey, here's the songs, we're gonna play, who knows what we'll play. Some of these guys just literally scroll down a list of songs and pick one, and then they expect you to just kind of follow, and that's a whole different flavor of music that I guess we'll talk about a little bit later. But the people that are paying you to learn a specific songs, do it. Don't just wing it and then find out sooner or later that they don't call you back for your next practice because you've been let go.
So I'm with you there. Players are a little bit too rigid, playing with people who are too rigid, people who can't adapt. That's to me, like, that's the thing, that's a pet peeve of mine. It's like if you're playing live and there's a mistake, and then somebody, doesn't have to be me, somebody makes a mistake and they just melt down and they can't play around the mistake. I'm like, what? You're supposed to be a professional. I don't care if people mess up. I'm trying to make you sound good. I do my best to make you sound good, especially if I'm getting paid for the gig. Man, I'm gonna do my best to make everything you do sound good. It doesn't matter that you made a mistake. I want to make that mistake sound good to the best of my ability. If we're playing, a really well-known song and you screw it up, it's gonna be rough.
Everybody's gonna be looking at you.
Yeah, everybody will know. Yeah, that's not how it goes.
I feel like that's something I teach as well, at least for drums, and maybe you can disagree with me, that's okay. But I feel like with drums, it's harder when, especially the kids that are learning, and I say kids, anybody that's learning drums for the first time, when they're learning to play and they mess up, they freeze and they like look at me and I'm like, I'm over here on the other drum kit, like, keep playing, keep going, like, just find a way to get back in and get back in. I feel like it's harder to do it on drums than it might be for guitar, because even in guitar, if you're playing a lead, or improvising, let's just say you're improvising, you hit a slew of wrong notes. The easy thing is just to go back to like the one, right? Like just to find whatever chord everybody's playing and just kind of riff off of it. With the drums, once you lose the beat, especially for the new drummers, it's hard to find that beat again.
What I would argue, I don't disagree with you, but what I would argue is if you're playing a lead part, it's easy to, especially if it's a busy rhythm section, it's easy to hide within the rhythm section and then find your place again. But if you are the one carrying the rhythm and you lose your rhythm, it's going to be the same thing as if you were a drummer. If you're the rhythm guitar player and you lose your place and you are the one carrying the rhythm, the exact same thing is going to happen. So
that's true.
I don't think it's necessarily that it's harder on drums. I think is the nature of the drums. You are the rhythm section, so you're carrying the rhythm. If you get lost, then everybody, so you're the clock.
Yeah, it's also way obvious. Every time I mess up on the drums, no matter what situation it's been in, no matter where I've been playing, who I've been playing with, when I mess up on the drums, it eats me alive for weeks after, because it's so painfully obvious. Especially like when I've done it with you sometimes, when I'm playing and you're ready to end, or maybe not, and I end it and people are still going, I'm like trying to find my way back in.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing. I hate it.
Yeah, but it's rough when you're playing like a free, like when we're doing the free jam thing. It's rough because sometimes like the cues get missed. Like we're playing, and you're in your zone, or like you cued me, and I'm like, okay, I know we're in sync and we end together, and the rest of the guys are still going.
Right. Which is another thing. About paying attention to the people that you're playing with. You have to communicate
with the people you're playing with. That's so important.
And usually you can communicate with them verbally, obviously. You can say like, hey, we're all going to this chord. Especially if it's people that you don't normally play with, you have to say like, hey, we're going to this chord, we're going to this chord. When it's us jamming, and us meaning me, you, Lon, Firehouse people, when we're jamming, it's almost like an unspoken
Yeah, it's so subtle. Sometimes it's just like a little nod. I may raise an eyebrow at you.
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, like this is the last.
The best
last
part,
chorus.
the best part is when George is clearly like done and he's like trying to cue me. Everybody's trying to cue me to end, and I'm like, nope, not till I sing. We're not done till I'm done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like for the most part, once we play together, there's just some unspoken energy going around that I can always feel. Usually, I can always feel where the song's going, when it's gonna end. George is really good about giving me cues. Some people you have to like read their back, which is another thing that comes
so annoying.
years after playing with people. Then you can start to like read their face from behind them.
And to be fair, a lot of the times in these jams, the people doing that, they're students, so they don't know any better.
Right.
And with students, I'm so forgiving. It's okay, you know. When it gets annoying is when you get professionals doing that.
Yeah.
That is annoying.
Yeah.
Because they should know better.
Mm-hmm. Playing with professional musicians is a double-edged sword sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, it's if you're in a jam environment, it's clear that, everybody's hands are off the table. We're just kind of feeling it out.
Mm-hmm.
But professionally, financially, or to do with money, yeah, you kind of can't. Sometimes you can, but you kind of can't do that kind of stuff. It's not as willy-nilly.
Yeah. The other thing that and this is more like, I don't know if that's just me being a cork sniffer or if it's
A what? I'm sorry.
a cork sniffer. You know what that means?
No.
It's like the wine people. They're like.
Oh, okay.
Wine.
Cork. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought I said cork. I'm like
No, not cork.
Okay.
This is your keywords.
That's why I was like, I'm sorry.
No.
You're on your own with
No,
this.
no.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, a cork sniffer. Yeah, you're like super fancy.
Yeah.
To me, it's like the people who play rhythm, and they don't give you like good harm. Let's just like that. Okay, we're gonna jam, and it's a free jam,
Mm-hmm.
and they play like triads in a 1-4-5,
Mm.
and it's like, bro, just can you give me something a little bit more interesting?
Throw a something there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's also like what kind of music you're playing. Another thing
Yeah.
I feel like really does help. And again, you can disagree with me if you want to disagree. But
So far, I haven't.
I feel like we kind of touched on this the other day, but we didn't get into depth about it. But I feel like everybody that I've jammed with, that I have that unspoken energy with, that like I can just read them really well. Not only are they one of my like close friends, and I love them already, but two, like they're just incredible musicians that have loved music and been passionate about music majority of their lives, if not all of their lives. And I was telling you this the other day, like I feel like when you're young, you get exposed to music in whatever way you do, and then if you're lucky enough that music surrounds you, because it's a blessing and it's a gift to be surrounded by music. So if you're lucky enough that music is around you and you develop that passion for it, so much so that you're like, hey, I think I want to give it a shot at playing this music, and then you start learning and you're learning and you're learning, and then you get so good that you get around other musicians that have followed that same road, different areas of life, of course, but they follow that same road, and then you get together, and I think that's what makes us play so well together, is because it's like all of our shared experiences coming forth, like sharing the light at the same time,
Yeah, I think playing together with other musicians a lot is like having a conversation. It's like this. We're doing that, but with the music. But you gotta have something to talk about.
Sure.
So like if you don't, if we didn't have things in common, it's gonna be a really awkward sit down conversation. It's like we sit like this. Imagine we're sitting like this, and we have nothing to talk about. Man, that would be really awkward. But the conversation just flows when we talk, because it's like we have so many shared years now, in common, and stuff on the personal side. And then so with music it's the same. Not only do you need to be able to speak the language, you gotta know your harmony, and you gotta know chord scale relationships. You gotta know all this. There's all these mechanical things that you gotta know. Just like in the English language, you gotta know the grammar, otherwise your English is gonna be broken. That's kind of how it works with music. But just because you know English, it doesn't mean you're gonna be a good conversationalist, or you're gonna be even interesting to talk to. So that's so that's the thing with music too. So you have to, how do we become interesting?
Yeah, right.
Well, you go out there and you live life, or you read books at least, so you have something to talk about, right? If you're the guy like, what did you watch on TV last night? Man, that's the most dull.
What do you? I'm not gonna get into it. Some of us watch good things on TV.
That's fair. That's fair. You gave me
So what did you watch on your YouTube playlist last night?
I was.
You don't watch TV. You watch YouTube.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I waste my time differently. But so yeah, but it's the same thing musically. Like you have to have a steady diet of interesting music. It doesn't have to be like, oh, like listen to fusion or you're nothing. No, like it's fine. You can listen to pop, listen to whatever you want, but it has to be interesting. It has to be good music. And if you've never heard music in your life, I mean, this is probably if you're a little kid, and all you know is like music from video games or something. Well, start with the classics, right? Just listen to some classic rock, like that rock they call it now, and the kids,
the youth,
yeah, youth.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So start with that stuff because that's easy to digest. Everybody easily they can grasp the sound of a pentatonic scale with their ear. And then, it's rooted in the blues, which again is a very simple harmonic background. If you're thinking Chicago blues, 3 chords. Very, very easy and simple. And then from there you have, from that framework, you have AC/DC, you have all these other bands from back in the day. That's very easy to grasp and get into your ear. And from there you move into more complex sounds and harmonies. And then ultimately, like that becomes your musical diet. I think it's so important. I always make that. I tend to use either food or language as an analogy for music. Because I talk about chords being spicy, and stuff like that. And it's like you're cooking.
Right.
You're blending your spices. So sometimes you have harmony that's just white bread.
Sure.
And you gotta add something to that,
Or not.
Or well, yeah.
There's a lane for that.
That's true. Like my wife cannot handle any spice at all. Like if you give her, she thinks that, like I mean, this is an exaggeration, but like bell peppers are spicy to her.
Man. But you're making jokes, but it's funny how true that also is in music. I'm not going to name genre names or artist names, but I'm thinking of one artist that I love, but it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay,
I mean, look, it's like
some people don't like white bread.
I was gonna say, or like pancakes with freaking syrup. That's as simple as it gets, right? It's just flour and sugar, and
so you have fruit.
Until you have fruit, yeah. You can see you can make it fancier. That's like sprinkling some cool harmonies on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're making me hungry now.
Otherwise known as reggae.
Yeah. yeah. So that's the other thing. Then you have rhythm, because we're just touching on harmony and stuff, but then the rhythm aspect of it that can change. You can play. I was teaching today a student, and we're learning. He's brand new to just playing improvised music, and he's working with just a simple Chicago blues pentatonic scale. Had no idea. He's just now learning the pentatonic. That's how green he is, right?
Yeah.
The 5 shapes of pentatonic, and he came back with the classic fret 5, A minor, 1 box pentatonic knowing. But that's enough for him to begin. And so we played over a blues, and he did okay, but he's clearly playing just randomly. So then I'm showing him like, look, these are the thirds of these chords in this position, and that's how you target those notes. So then, and then. I was playing, he was playing even without knowledge, and he's like, man, how come when you play it just flows with the music, but when I play it just sounds random. So I explained to him the concept of rhythm. You just sort of, don't just play everything, don't play every 8th note, don't play everywhere, don't just fill the time with notes, but find a spot where it feels good. Just like when you have a conversation, if we were talking, and I'm just talking nonstop, I'm gonna put you to sleep. Maybe not.
I've experienced it.
Yeah.
Remember your TED Talks?
Yeah. But I don't think I haven't done one of those in a long time.
You took the podium back. So.
But the podium. But yeah, so it's like that, right? So even here we're talking, and there are pauses. Sometimes I raise my voice, sometimes I speak quiet, and you also have a cadence when you speak, and it's like that when you play. Not all your notes sound the same. You could be playing very simple stuff like a pentatonic scale, but you can make that thing speak if you use that. And I mean that matters. That the articulation, that ability to express dynamics, all that matters a ton more than people give it credit to.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did a master class on that a couple months ago, and it was really, really good, because you can take something simple like pancakes and syrup, and just with the same ingredients, notes, you can make it fancy. Like, you can spice it up a little bit and make it different, playing the same thing but playing it differently. It's like a different cadence, like you were saying.
But you can't put hot sauce on your pancakes.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm going with this? You see what I'm going with this?
I was really trying to find an argument. I couldn't think of one.
No, you can't. So if you're playing, you gotta also know like what audience you're playing with, right? And what music you're playing. So you could be like, you're playing with people that are expecting, you know, top 40 covers, and you just rip this like awesome, you know, I don't know, modal fusion thing, and people are gonna be looking at you like, what the heck is this guy doing? He's playing all the wrong notes, you know, because they don't understand the music. So you gotta know your audience too, and that also, I think, plays into who you're playing with.
Yeah.
I always play down to the level that the people that I'm playing with.
Yeah. Because it's also,
you don't want to play over their heads.
Yeah, it's also wrong to do that. It's like finding the fine line, which again, I feel like only a musician that has been around enough knows the difference between overplaying and playing in or playing with.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta play with. You gotta listen to other people. Steve Morse is a rock / fusion guitar player, a little bit of an old timer now, but he was it when I was growing up. One of my guitar heroes growing up, and he really when he had a column called Open Ears, and I think it was Guitar for the Practicing Musician, that whole line. So
no.
But and I remember, I forget which entry on that series it was, but he would talk a lot about listening to the other players, like really pay attention to what other people are doing, and then play to that. And because I admired him so much and I really liked the way he sounded, I took a lot of his advice to heart. And he wasn't, I mean, I never met him in person, I never taken a lesson from him, but I did watch a lot of his instructionals and I read everything he put out. So I learned a ton from him. And he was instrumental in making me the player that I am today, even though I never met him. So that's a really interesting thing.
I kind of love that, and I know that you have studied under and with, you know, people. I'm a very visual learner, so growing up watching people play was like my classes.
Oh,
like, that
sure.
was the way that I
that's the old school way. That's like the apprenticeship way.
Yeah.
I took a more academic approach.
Yeah, I try to get both, but you get mad at me when you try to teach me stuff. So. But that being said, I also feel like maybe it's just me, or different people I'm sure have the same experience, but when you don't learn besides watching, you feel what they're playing because you don't have anything to look at besides them playing their instrument. And so I feel like that barrier between like music and being able to play wasn't there until I got into like marching band and like high school and middle school, where they make you read music. But before then, I wasn't really reading at all. You know,
see, that's really interesting because I was forced into the opposite approach because my parents didn't want me to play rock. So they got me, I know, and look at me now.
No.
They were right. So they got me started. They got me started with classical music. So of course I was reading, but I really didn't. I wasn't a good sight reader because historically, I think when you're learning classical guitar, you learn how to read, but you don't really learn how to sight read because you're constantly preparing. You're preparing the parts and you're putting everything together. You're preoccupied with tone production and all these other things. So you have time with the written material. So you don't. I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of guitar players who are really crappy readers. I didn't really start reading well until I went to college, and then because I was also working full time, I had a hard time like getting time to do all my homework. So I would do all the heavy stuff, and then guitar ensemble was an afterthought. I'm like, I'll just read the parts. Like I'll just show up and read. So I'll show up completely unprepared to the ensemble class, and I have the music in front of me, and it was okay. And it's go time. Like you have to read. So and I would just read everything, and that I prepared before going to college. I worked through the 11 books. I did all that. So I went into college already a strong reader.
You weren't going in blind.
Yeah,
totally blind.
I went in already a very strong reader. I don't want people to think like, oh, you can just wing it and you'll get it. No, you'll fail.
Yeah.
No, I went in very prepared, but I wasn't preparing the ensemble parts. I would just show up and just sight read everything, and that pressure and having Mr. Blakeman just looking at me, and I knew that he knew if I was messing up. So man, like that forced me to on the spot get good at reading. Kind of like, I did this years ago. When I started telling my students, just bring me whatever song you want and I'll teach it to you. And students started bringing me songs that I didn't know, you know. So now I have like 10 seconds. You have to listen to the song and you have to play it back. That did wonders for my ear. It was terrifying too, because like you're failing in front of your student if you don't get it. So my ear just got, I think the first jump that I got on my ear was when I went to college and took the oral skills and everything, and solfege and intervals and all that stuff, and sight singing. And then the next big jump was just figuring out note for note songs for students and not using tabs. I don't use tabs. I just figure them out and show them.
That's a skill. It's a talent also. Talent that I don't have.
I think it's a skill.
It is a skill.
You just learn to do it.
It is a skill.
Because I couldn't do it before, and then now I can. So it's you just learn how to do it.
I feel like if I were to push myself a little harder to learn how to read.
Oh, reading, absolutely.
I feel like I could get it.
You could
I
absolutely.
don't know, but we were working through it, and you were like yelling at me the first 5 minutes of the lesson. You're like, how can you not read this? Like, how can you not play? It's like it was like the C scale or something like that. I was like, just play it for me. I'll play it back. You're like, no, read the book. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Well, yeah, that's it. So I wasn't yelling at you because you weren't getting it. I was yelling at you because you were trying to use your ear to figure it out. And I know because you got a good ear. So I know, like, if I played it for you, you won't read. You just do what I did.
Yes.
So I needed to separate you from that so you can use your eyes and actually read. And then eventually they come back together because you look at the music and you hear it in your head. But you have to initially almost disconnect. And only with people who, I think, that use the ear to get around the music, which you've had to do your whole life. So you've trained your brain to do that. So I need to basically stop you from doing it. I don't think it's a liability most times. But when you're trying to learn that specific system, I think it can be.
Yeah. I feel like, with guitar I don't read as much. I read tabs.
I don't read much anymore, unless I'm like looking at the real book and I'm looking at a standard, or if I'm working through some kind of instructional book that only has standard notation. There's a lot of really good ones out there, like the Andrew Green series. Everything he's got is in standard notation. There's no tabs in his books. Or Ted Green, they're both green, spelled differently. Ted Green's books also are mostly in standard notation. He doesn't really include tabs with his stuff. And then some of the older jazz textbooks, like the what is it? There's a really old school one. It's real famous, and I can't think of the name. It's like a 3-book series on bebop and stuff. Huh? What, the Bible? No, it's not the Bible.
You said 3-part series. Oh wait, it's only 2-part.
It's only 2 parts.
Sorry.
Yeah. We're not gonna get into theology.
No. You're gonna cut this part out. But going back to what you were talking about standards.
Yes,
so like circling the conversation back to playing together. George and I have played together professionally only a handful of times where we've gotten paid to play, or we've gotten a reward for playing. Not always paid, but we always got something at the end. And I feel like the first time we did that was like 2018.
I barely met you when we did that. Like, it was like, I think I had I had barely taken over this place, and we had interacted like precious few times.
And the few times that we did interact were awful. They were really bad.
It wasn't
at
that
first.
bad. It wasn't that bad. But at least that I remember. It wasn't that bad. But
I'll never forget.
But yeah, we had somebody come in and they asked me if I would be willing to play a wedding, and I had done solo gigs at a wedding before, but the wedding was like that weekend or that night.
It was super soon.
Like we had no time to prepare. So I was thinking like, man, a solo gig usually I take a few months to put the songs together and then show up. I don't want to just show up and wing a wedding gig. So I talked to Eva, who I kind of barely knew at the time. I was like, hey, would you like to do this gig together? And because then it's a lot easier to put stuff together. We just workshop a few things and then just come out and do it. And I expected her to just basically just read my rhythm section while I play over the thing, and then we can. It's not gonna be, amazing, and we're not gonna have custom requests, right? But it's gonna be good enough. And when we went and we did it, it surpassed my wildest
It
expectations.
actually was amazing. We actually did get song requests. All of the things kind of like fell. I mean, I don't want to say it was like the easiest thing I've ever done before, but it was just butter. I don't know.
Yeah, we were just able to play off each other really, really well.
That was actually also the first time you and I had like a dinner where like we weren't at work, we were just like hanging out, because after we played, they fed us.
Yeah.
So we played for like at least 2 or 3 hours.
It was like 2.5 hours. Yeah. It was a long gig.
So we played for the first. Really, we had been jamming, I think, a little bit, maybe on and off, just as coworkers, but. So like,
not really much.
No, not much. Just a little. Just like touch here and there. But then to go in there and we got paid, we got fed.
Yeah.
We got to know each other a little bit better.
And we played a full set. It was really good.
And clearly we're still reminiscing on it now, so it must have been.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's when I found out that, we had really good musical chemistry, and then from there, we just been playing ever since, on and on. And then after that, we had other gigs that we did together, and if somebody were to ask me to play again, she'd be one of the people that I'd bring with me. Be like, okay, she's my band. So because I know she can just jump in and play whatever, and whether we're doing a duo gig or we're playing full band, or where she can adapt and play. And that makes my job really, really easy. All I have to do is worry about me and what I need to know for the gig, instead of having to play band leader, right? Which I don't want.
Yeah. And I feel like as like, if anybody is curious as to if they could like on the fly go play with people or jam together, if you have a group of musicians that you know or that you're friends with, just call them up and ask to jam somewhere. It could be in a living room. It could be, I mean, we do it here at the shop.
Or at parties. Right?
We do it at parties. And it just is, I don't know. I feel like it's something that you find out about yourself that you don't even really know until you do it. So I feel like if you're wanting to know what it's like to jam with other musicians, you just kind of need to throw yourself into it, and you need to do it.
Yeah, and there are things that you can learn. You can do. You can learn all the technical stuff that you want, but at some point you're gonna have to just jump in and do it. And I think the earlier you do it, the better. Again, you don't have to start with the most complicated thing. You can just jump in and just do simple. Just play a blues with somebody. A simple 3-chord blues. Learn how to play a Chicago blues. Learn how to play a minor blues. Get out there and improvise with that, and then from there you can start, playing songs with people, just basic covers and stuff, and then take it as far as you want.
I feel like the repertoire of like us playing together is kind of like, I know what we're gonna play most of the time, unless it's a jam where like y'all are just calling out chords and we're playing. But like most of the time, I'll have students ask me like, oh, at the adult jam, like what songs do you think we're gonna do? I can easily tell them like at least 3 or 4, because crowd favorites.
Yeah.
Everybody
Well,
loves
yeah,
those
and it's the
songs,
stuff that the students normally, like, if you've been teaching music for any length of time, you know what the students are going to ask for. Like everybody wants to play Crazy Train. Everybody wants to play. I haven't had many records for AC/DC anymore, but that used to be like super popular, like Back in Black and all those
TNT,
all those songs.
Enter
Sandman from Metallica, and then you get
Dust in the Wind, Kansas.
You have a few of the Radiohead songs like Creep, Paranoid Android. A lot of the 90s are kind of coming back. A lot of 90s hit, Nirvana stuff.
Yeah, I've been teaching a lot of like Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah. Definitely making a comeback.
Which is awesome. Dude, I love those. I love those lessons.
No, it's good music.
I go over my time when I teach those songs.
Yeah, it's good music.
Most of the time when I'm trying to teach the song, we're playing through it, I'll turn around after the song's over. It's oh yeah, I'm supposed to be teaching. Okay, so this, and this were wrong.
Yeah.
I just made them up on the top of my head. I don't even know if they were wrong or not. I just really enjoy playing that genre of music.
Yeah, so we went from, we talked about a lot of stuff. We started with the bad experiences, and then we talked about all kinds of technical things. But that's usually how our conversations go. We just go from topic to topic.
Never had a bad experience with y'all though, so that's
no. It's same here. I never had a bad experience playing with you or Lon, or David. They're all really, really good musicians.
One last thing that I feel like I need to say, since you were so kind, you had such kind words about me, is that I feel like when you've played with a lot of musicians, you played with a lot of people, whether that be in a professional capacity or just jamming with your friends, I feel like whenever it's special, whenever it's different. And I feel like I didn't have to look hard for that, obviously, because you guys were here. But you can clearly pick out, after you experience something so easy, you can pick out, and you can play with people, and it can be awesome. And then you're like, man, I'm really tired. That actually took a lot of energy out of me. And
when you're carrying the whole band.
Right, yeah. And then playing with these guys, playing with people that you know, you connect with, you have a lot of things in common with, whatever. I feel like I have energy afterwards. We could play for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and I feel like I just took an energy drink, or I feel really, really good. And so look out for those small little differences.
When you play with people when you have good chemistry with people, it energizes you when you play. It's like drinking a strong cup of coffee. You're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, it's the best. I feel like I have a pretty serious face when I'm playing. Sometimes people will come after a gig or something, they'll be like, "Are you okay? You look upset." I'm like, "No, I'm just really focused. I'm serious." But I feel like when I play with you guys, it's the best because I'll be on my in my own world, looking around. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing, And then I feel around halfway or the end of a song, we'll look up and we're just smiling a little bit to each other.
Well, we had a little bit of that. It's wholesome. We had a little bit of that today. When
it's the Lord of the Rings scene. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. That's how I feel playing music with you guys. It's just slow running and all that stuff.
Oh man, we had a little bit of that with Brandy today. We were working on that song. It was like that. I was playing because he was playing his solo, and I was playing the outro part, right? Playing the outro, and everything was so tight. And I just I look up and I see, and I don't know who, I think I made eye contact with you, and it was yes.
Yeah. It felt really, and again, you don't know how good it feels until you experience other musicians.
Yeah.
With different.
Probably my most lucrative gig that I had was like that. I had to carry the whole band. But I was getting paid, and I was getting paid well. But it was a job. It wasn't. It was still music, so I don't want to say it was misery. Every second I was there. No, it was still fun in its own way, but it wasn't rewarding. So it was I was playing music, and I was getting paid. So, I'm winning. But at the same time, the artist inside of me was not getting anything. So I needed other people to jam with, so I could get that need fulfilled.
Yeah, and that's why playing the black and white notes is sometimes something you have to do because that's what they want. So that's what you do. But I know for sure afterwards if it was just for the paycheck or if it was more than that. I know one song in with people I've never played before. If I play one song in with them, I know immediately if it's and that doesn't mean they're horrible. It just means there's no chemistry.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I think so much of that chemistry really comes from like being generous, like with the space. Like when I play with people, I always try to, again, like I brought up the Steve Morse thing. I try to give them space because I want to hear what they have to do. Like I already know what I sound like. I want to hear what you sound like when we play.
What they have to say.
So then I listen to you and then I respond. So then I play. I'm still me, so I'm gonna sound like me, but I'm gonna sound a little bit different because I'm being influenced by you just play. You know, and then we keep going back and forth, and the music like breathes and it becomes alive. It becomes a thing that morphs and changes with every chorus. It changes. Where when you play with the guys that just are playing really stiff and they're playing the same thing over and over and over again, then it's kind of like I'm saying something and you keep replying canned lines and we're not really having a conversation.
Yeah.
It's like I'm asking you questions.
You're reading a script.
And you're reading a script.
Yeah. That's exactly what it feels like. At least to me. On drums, guitar, piano, whatever it is, I can always feel it. And some musicians just aren't wired to be able to jam, you know, especially the ones that are
I think everybody should.
Well, of course, in a perfect world, and I feel like the kind of like, you know, some of my musical influences, and I know you've made comments before about you being able to hear those influences when I play.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever met a musician that doesn't have like favorite genres of music, but when I meet someone and they're a musician, almost the first thing I always ask is, what kind of music do you like? What kind of music do you listen to? Like, I need to know because that gives you a general idea of who they are.
Yeah.
And luckily, everybody here, well, you're kind of forced to when you teach, but we like every genre. We love every genre, almost every genre.
Almost, yeah.
Which genre do you hate?
I mean, I don't think I hate. No, not when you cancel. I don't think. I mean, like 4 people watching. It's fine.
Okay, now we have 0, so thanks for that.
I don't think I hate any specific genre, but there are genres that I'm like they bore me. Like they're not stimulating enough, you know. Like if I'm playing something that's super formulaic, like a little pop country, it's like that. Like I can already tell it's gonna be a verse, a chorus, and a bridge, and it's gonna have like the same sort of. Worship music is like that by design. It has to be because they when you run a church. I talked to one of my friends about this a lot because when I say this, he thinks I'm talking down to worship music, and I'm like, no, like it has to be that way by design because when you run a church, everybody's a volunteer. They don't like to hire professional musicians. They don't like to pay. So we're going to stop there, or I will get canceled. But yeah, so if you're having your entire band be a bunch of volunteers. You can be too picky, so you gotta make sure that the lowest level musician can hang and they can play that music. So the music has to be formulaic, and it has to be very open and sort of even the rhythms are not very tight. They tend to be like very loose and you know, and they have that very like floating. You know, a lot of the songs have that. With the long, drawn-out intros and everything, sort of like ambiance, and they come in gradually. So all of that is, and when it's done really well, it sounds good, and people like it. But to me, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I've heard the 4 enough. Show me something else.
Sure.
Know?
Yeah, and there still is music, like gospel music, for example. Gospel music that kind of fits in that same lane.
But it's different.
It is different. That's what I'm saying. Like there's still like you were talking about like spices and stuff like that. I feel like gospel musicians are just different people. Yeah. Like I know we're good musicians, and if I tried really hard, I can probably sit in, hopefully, and try my best. Yeah. But some of these videos you see of
their sense of rhythm and their groove and everything is so. I have a student that likes music like that. And so he brings me songs like that to figure it out, and it's always like, okay, let me listen to it. And I have to like really pay attention to get those songs down.
I've had to learn and play a few gospel songs in my musician lifetime, and I felt like a kid in a candy shop, honestly. Like it's fun. Like it's you know, especially, and I'm not doing everything that the song is requiring me to do, but just like having the ability to move around where you don't usually get that in like contemporary Christian music.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But so sorry. So we turned this into like a whole like a Christian music analysis. So, but what I was trying to say is like what what I was trying to say was that the new pop country has these. It almost sounds like worship music now. It has like that very formulaic.
And it works every time. The formula.
Yeah.
Works
No,
every time.
hey, if you want to sell music, it's a formula for a reason.
Yep.
People will buy your record, and if you're a competent enough singer, and your solos don't suck, then hey, you're gonna sell a record. You know, you're gonna sell that song.
Good news.
I mean, yeah, you're not gonna get a whole lot of money anymore because streams, but
What is it, like 3 cents a
yeah,
listen?
something like that.
2 cents.
Man, we need to do one of these about the music business, how rough it's become. You know, it's, and as much as I hate to admit it, like Lars was right. It's annoying that I have to agree with him, but he was right. It's if you kill everybody was thinking like, oh, like the record labels, you know, those greedy bastards. But then it ended up killing the whole business, you know. And so, and of course, we are the littlest of all the guys, you know. So then the big guys have to make sure that whatever money's left, they're getting theirs. So then it just means that we were getting less and less and less and less and less until studio work is no longer profitable. If you tour, you have to be a glorified T-shirt store if you want to make it. It's just rough.
Also selling your T-shirts for like $50 a pop, which is normal now.
I mean, you have
like
to.
$40, $50.
The money's got to come from somewhere. You know, so you have to.
Yeah.
It's not a good model anymore. I mean, I don't know. Like, there are some people out there making it, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
But it's not something I want to do.
Making it looks different for everybody. This is my version of making it.
Same. Yeah. I love what I do, and I get to
I'd
do
rather
it.
play with George than Steve Vai any day, and I'm not lying.
You're lying.
Trying to make it really simple.
You sounded really convincing, but you're lying. Because I would play with Steve Vai. Hey, do you say instead of you?
You can come too.
Yeah. We can play with Steve Vai.
I feel like I'll be playing in a room
In
with you
fact,
guys.
Steve Vai, if you're watching this, come to Houston. I think number one, get out there and play. Even if that means just call your buddy over to your house and 2 guitars, guitar and drums, guitar and bass, doesn't matter. Just 2 instruments and start just banging on things, you know, just try, play over your favorite songs. It really doesn't matter. Just learn how to feel music and create feel within what you're doing. And if you don't have a drummer, you can set a metronome up. Call Eva.
For work.
She's very affordable.
$500 per hour per song.
But if you don't have a drummer and you're trying, you know, you don't want the artificial sound of a drum machine, or you can afford one, you can just use a metronome. And this trick, I forget who I learned it from. Man, I'm not gonna be able to remember the person who taught me this. It's okay. It's you set your metronome at half the BPM of the time that you're playing, and then you feel the click as if it was the snare on a rock beat, right? So you're gonna feel it on 2 and 4, and you let that click go, and make sure you pick something that's not annoying, like a chirp, right? You want something that sounds, you know, something.
A kick drum.
Yeah, like a kick drum or something, right? That's gonna give you like that sound, right? And then otherwise it's gonna get annoying. And then use that to sort of give you the pulse that you're playing with. And then whatever you're playing, whether you're playing rock, you're playing blues, it doesn't matter, because that's where the snare lands, on that 2 and 4. And now you have a rhythm section that's never gonna mess up. A little stiff, right? Because the timing the tempo's not gonna shift, but you can sort of pull or push that beat, because when you're playing over a beat, and man, this is gonna turn into a lesson. When you play into a beat,
It's good.
you can. You want me to stop?
No,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
good.
Okay, you can play at the right on top of the beat. You can play at the beginning of the beat, or you can play at the end of the beat, while still being in time. That doesn't mean you play off time. You're playing in time, but the beat is big enough that you can play at the front border, in the middle, or at the end. And those 3 feels feel very different. And I'm gonna stop there, because this wasn't supposed to be a lesson video, but just experiment with that, play around, and man, like trust me, music's gonna feel different because and it'll strengthen your imagination. Because before long, you'll hear a drummer there, even though there's no drummer. With that technique, you will hear like you're playing with a drummer.
And as a drummer, if you are a drummer and you're trying to play with other people, and maybe you have to get your internal metronome right first because without when you're jamming, there is no metronome. Obviously, you are the metronome. So you kind of have to just play with a metronome, even if you find like a drumless track on YouTube where it's just guitars and bass and stringed instruments, and then you can fill in that beat. Even if there's a metronome, like one of like my favorite things that happens when I'm playing at a gig or when I'm hired to play anywhere, and there's a click in my ear. Once the click disappears, it's either really good because I'm like right on it that it just disappears. I don't even hear the click anymore, or I'm severely offbeat and they fire me immediately, which hasn't happened yet. But once you like land on the tempo every time, like it feels good. I don't know. It feels really good.
Yeah, that's the other thing. When you lock in with something, I recently found, I need to show you this. I found these, because I hate a lot of backing tracks for jazz in particular because they feel so artificial. Everything is just like really synthetic and nasty sounding. But this is actually a rhythm section, a proper rhythm section. These 3 guys. And they get together and it's a trio, right? So you have the upright bass, you have the drums, and you have the either guitar or piano playing the harmony. And they jump through the tune, and they have a bunch of standards on there. And when you play with it, it feels like playing with a band. At least the first playthrough. After a while, because it's always gonna be the same, you'll start feeling like a backing track.
Same chord progression, like the entire like a 5-minute long video.
Yeah, but they're actually comping. So they are moving around like a real band would.
So it's not like a normal backing track where it's just like blues and E.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. No, these guys are actually comping.
Okay.
So the only thing what I'm saying is over multiple playthroughs, you're gonna feel like, oh, this is the same take over and over and over again. But I think like that is like the next best thing. It feels like, and you probably don't know these guys because you're young, but Jamie Aversold had I knew it. Had a bunch of backing tracks, and he was a professional jazz band playing over specific things. He has all kinds of volumes. Go to aversold.com if you're interested in that. You can look at his stuff. Well, I think it's actually jazzbooks.com. Don't go to aversold.com. This is campsite. Jazzbooks.com. You can go in there. You can check out that stuff. We're not sponsored by them. I'm not getting any money for saying this.
Yeah, no free advertisements.
Yeah, sorry. I may clip this off. But the old Aversold tracks.
Use code George20.
the old Aversold tracks had that, so you're playing with a band. And it was the next best thing from playing with an actual band, playing with humans.
Yeah.
So, but then, I brought that up because I was jamming with one of those tracks, and I locked in, and the feeling when you are like locked. It's like the best feeling in the world. Like I don't think that there's anything that feels better than that.
Yeah, it's really hard to, and I understand we might be talking to musicians on the other end of the video, but it's hard to explain to anybody that doesn't play music. Even people that love listening to music, I don't think I could ever explain.
No, like that feeling of being locked in is it's you get chills. It's so good.
This guy's reminiscing over here.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
It was last night.
Still fresh.
Yes, still fresh. Yeah.
My closing up of this video is, if you are a professional musician, that's awesome. You already get hired to play songs you've never heard before or you've never even seen before. But if you're not a professional musician and you're not getting paid to do that, you should still do it anyway. Because it challenges you, it pushes you, play things outside of the genres that you normally like, even if it's a genre that you typically don't listen to, borderline hate. I think it's still useful to learn how to play most every genre, because you never know who you're going to play with, what kind of music they're going to like, what kind of music they're going to ask you to play. And especially if you're trying to get paid for your craft, if you're trying to get paid for what you do, you want to be able to say, like, yeah, I can follow along with pretty much anything you throw at me. Yeah. And I wear that statement like a badge of honor, because it took a lot of learning to get to that point.
Yeah, I think you just need to. It's okay to bite more than you can chew,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kick your own butt and
Mm-hmm.
get in gear and get there and do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you grow. So, you know, I think what, like Eva said, all the musicians that we like to play with, we have good chemistry with, and they just work, are people who have done the work, because you can't get around it. There's this myth, and I did a video about this a long time ago, but that you have to be talented or like a special person in order to play music. That's not true. All you need to do is work really hard, and you will be a musician. Just work on your craft. You know, put things together. Play with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't lock yourself up in your room and play with YouTube, because then what's gonna come out of you is gonna be canned stuff, and you won't be able to move.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to react. It's just like having a conversation. Imagine if you were, instead of talking to people, you're just spending your whole time miming, having a conversation with a video, right? Or like now AI, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you spend your whole time talking with AI. Like, what kind of human are you gonna be? That it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You come out really, really weird. And nobody likes to play with weird people. So listen to my advice.
You would know from experience.
Yeah. Listen to my advice.
Please
Just
play with me.
play with people. And yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm. Find your people too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Play with people and find your people.
Yeah. Yeah, just get out there. Get out there and find musicians. Right now, the world is so small. There's communities for everything. Social media, like instead of using it to watch, you know, cat videos and share memes, just go around and find find a community of musicians, you know, and play. Just play. Or come over here. You know, we got a community built up here. If you are local and you, hey, we'll teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be part of this community. But it doesn't have to be us. Just but go find it
Mm-hmm.
and learn to play and play.
Mm-hmm.